You built your whole workflow around Sora 2's physics, and then OpenAI shut it down. So now you're staring at Kling 2.6, wondering if anything close even exists. Sora 2 was built for raw realism. Kling 2.6 is built to actually ship, and the decision you're facing right now is whether the gap matters. Alright, so test 1 is output quality, and I expected both tools to be close enough that price would settle it, but the community was saying something different. People kept reporting that one of these generates motion, so physically convincing, it looks like real footage, and the other just kinda doesn't get there. And that's a gap you feel instantly when a client watches the clip. I went through the community consensus across both platforms, and Sora 2 was consistently called the physics king, the most convincing AI video motion anyone had seen, while Kling 2.6 is strong on dynamic action scenes, but it doesn't hit that same realism peak, and I want to be upfront that this is directional from community reports, not a measured benchmark. Sora 2 takes output quality, and I didn't think the gap would be this clear from community data alone, but every report pointed the same direction. Best-in-class physics, no contest. That puts Sora 2 up 1-0, which is going to get complicated pretty fast. I've put enough time into AI video tools that community consensus on physics realism is usually the first thing I check, because it bites you hard the first time a clip looks wrong to a paying client. Drop a comment if you've run into this with Kling. Okay, so test 2 is generation speed, and the number that matters is simple. You're waiting on a 5-second 1080p clip, and every extra minute you sit there is a minute you're not iterating. I expected both tools to land in roughly the same ballpark, because that's usually how it goes at this tier. Watch what happens on the timer. Sora 2 was cranking out that 5-second clip in 1 to 2 minutes, while Kling 2.6 was running 2 to 3 minutes for the same output. So Sora 2 was roughly 1.5 to 2 times faster. And yes, these are community reported figures, not a controlled lab test, so treat them as directional. Sora 2 wins generation speed, and I didn't expect the gap to be that consistent across reports. But 1 to 2 minutes versus 2 to 3 is a real difference when you're iterating fast. That's Sora 2.2, Kling 2.60, and this is where things get genuinely strange. Now, test 3 is pricing, and the number you need to know is 20 cents per second, because that's what it costs to generate with one of these tools. And if you're running 100 clips a month, that difference compounds fast. One of the biggest problems I run into when using AI agents is turning their output into YouTube content I can actually use to market my product. That's why this video is sponsored by Subscriber, a tool that helps business owners connect their AI agents to YouTube and market their products without spending 10 hours every week creating content. You can connect Claude or ChatGPT directly to Subscriber. It then analyzes your business, website, and YouTube channel to help you create SEO-optimized video ideas, scripts, thumbnails, and even complete videos that actually match your brand. What I like most is that every week, Subscriber gives me a list of high-potential video ideas I can immediately execute, and it can even help edit videos for me, with or without my face, including videos like the one you're watching right now. It's easy to get started, and you can try Subscriber for free using the link in the description below. Now back to the video. Most people assume the better quality tool is always the pricier one, and this comparison is going to test that. The pricing pages actually show this. Sora 2 API was 20 cents per second. Kling 2.6 API comes in at 15 cents per second. So on a 5-second clip, that's $1 versus 75 cents. And Kling is 25% cheaper, pulled straight from both official pricing pages, not community estimates. Kling 2.6 takes pricing, and 25% cheaper per second is a real gap when you're generating at volume. That makes it Sora 2, Kling 2.61, and the next two tests are where this whole comparison gets weird. So Sora 2 is up 2-1 right now, but the next two tests cover style consistency and platform availability, and one of those dimensions is going to completely change the question you're asking. Specifically, character consistency is a known pain point for Kling, and availability is the one factor that can override every other score on the board. Test 4 is style control and consistency, and the scenario that keeps coming up in community reports is this. You're building a multi-shot project, you've got a character who needs to look the same in every clip, and you hit render on clip 3 and your character's face has shifted. That's not a minor annoyance, that's a full reshoot, and people are flagging this as a real problem with one of these tools specifically. I went through the community reports twice on this one because the language was so direct. People were saying do not buy a Kling subscription if you need character consistency, that the marketing is completely misleading. And while Sora 2 had more advanced style tools including text prompts and reference images, since it's unavailable, Kling's style reference feature is what you're actually working with, and it needs manual tuning. Kling 2.6 takes this test because it's the only style tool you can actually use today, even though Sora 2's feature set was more advanced. And that's a strange win to hand out, but availability forces the call. We're tied now, Sora 2.2, Kling 2.62, and the last test decides it. Test 5 is platform availability, and April 26, 2026, that's the date OpenAI pulled Sora 2, and if you didn't know that going in, every other number in this comparison just changed meaning. I thought this would be a minor footnote, but it's actually the whole ballgame. OpenAI confirmed the shutdown, Sora 2 is gone, and Kling 2.6 is actively shipping on both web and API with no announced discontinuation date, so the scenario plays out like this. You can't build on a tool that doesn't exist, and a performance win for a dead product is a historical footnote, not a recommendation. Kling 2.6 wins availability, and this is the test that flips the whole scoreboard, because a tool you can't access scores 0 in practice no matter how good the physics were. Final tally, Kling 2.6 wins 3-2, and the deciding factor was existence. So where did Sora 2 actually beat Kling 2.6? Physics and motion realism. It was the best AI video motion anyone had seen. Full stop. Generation speed was 1 to 2 minutes per clip versus 2 to 3. And its style control tools were more advanced, with both text prompts and reference images built in. All of that is real, and all of it is gone. Kling 2.6 wins on 3 things that actually matter right now. It's live and shipping, no shutdown date, available on web and API today. It's 25% cheaper per second of video generated, 15 cents versus 20 cents. And dynamic action scenes are a genuine strength, which is a real use case for a lot of creators. If you need the best physics and motion realism in AI video, Sora 2 was your answer, and that answer is gone. Kling 2.6 wins by default. It's cheaper at 15 cents per second, it's actively shipping, and the only real thing you have to work around is character consistency. One thing the docs don't spell out, Kling 2.6 style reference feature requires manual prompt tuning on every new character, and the default settings don't lock facial features across shots. So if you're building anything with a recurring character, you need to budget extra iteration time into every single scene, not just the first one. Now that you know where Kling 2.6 actually lands, the next question is how it stacks up against its closest live competitor. So check out Runway, Gen 5 versus Kling 3.0. Which is better? It's already up, and it covers the exact generation quality and pricing questions that this comparison couldn't fully answer because one side was already dead.